So now some questions related to the different types of pulse. That is, the first one is anacotic pulse, which is nothing but a slow raising pulse, and that is regularly seen in AS. The second important thing that you have to make a note is that is pulsus martinez, which is a regular pulse with large and small waves, and it is most commonly seen in the case of left failure, toxic myocarditis, paroxysmal tachycardia. And this left heart failure is the most commonly asked question which is given in the exams. And the next goes with pulsus paradoxicus, which is seen in the case of severe shock and seen in the case of acute attacks of bronchial asthma. It is also seen in the case of constrictive pericarditis, and the most important point is seen in the case of cardiac trematode. Okay, so this is the most commonly asked NBE question, so please do make a note about these two important points which are previously asked several times. Okay, so the next goes with the next sign, that is pulsus bifurcans, which is more often like a you can see a double peaks on the graph, and it is a combinedly seen in the case of AS and AR, and you can see in the case of hypertrophy, as well as you can see in the case of cardiomyopathy. Okay, so the next one is dichotic pulse, which is a twice beating pulse, which is seen in the case of typhoid fever, which is seen in the case of CCF, which is seen in the case of open surgery. Okay, so the next goes is Treble pulse, in which the pulse rate is rapid, and if you observe the waves are regularly small in size, and it disappears quickly. Okay, so it is most commonly seen in the case of cardiogenic shock. Okay, so the next goes is, I hope you have heard this a lot in the dental MCQs, that is water hammer pulse, which is large bounding pulse. You will have wide pulse pressure in this, and this is basically seen in the case of thyrotoxicosis. You can see this in the case of AR, you can see in the case of PDA, you can see it in the case of HTN, you can see this in the case of bradycardia.